Welcome. I'm Jeff Miller from 2049 Outfitters.
And I'm Cliff Watson from Pomona, Queensland, Australia. If you ever come down my way, come and say good day. Until then, check out my Pomona Astronomy Club page on Facebook.
And I think this is the first time that Pam has actually not been on the show. So in our entire run. But tonight, Cliff and I are introducing tonight's episode of the Everyday Spacer Friday night show, where we show regular folks how to personally and directly participate in space exploration, science, and astronomy. We're here on Friday nights at 9 p.m. Pacific time, midnight Eastern time, and 2 p.m. in Australia, Queensland, Australia.
Queensland, Australia.
Yeah.
No daylight saving there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're broadcasting live from Thousand Oaks, California. And tonight, Dawn, Cliff, and I will discuss the upcoming April 8th eclipse, where they'll share their experiences and any tips or tricks to help you prepare for this historic event. We'll be back in
8.3 seconds.
Yay!
Hang on.
He's lost it.
There we go. And hi, Scott.
Hey, Scott.
So, folks, tell us about the upcoming. Oh, you guys, tell us about the upcoming eclipse and mention anything from past. We already said that. Oh wow.
Did we? Oh,
okay.
Oh, we're repeating ourselves.
So we'll start with Dawn talking about the path of the eclipse and its mechanics.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to talk about, you guessed it, my web page at Astra Stargate. I'm going to present my page here, Jeff, in just a minute.
Yep. Oh, in the meantime, hi, Janie.
Hi, Janie Becker.
Yeah. Hey, Jane.
Eclipse
Janie, sorry.
Yeah.
You got me up there yet, Jeff?
There we go.
Okay, yeah, we're back at Astra's Eclipse Guide. I know you guys have seen this before. I'm just starting at the beginning. You can get into the various pages over here, and we're going to look at the solar eclipse page right now. And what I'm going to show you on here is this little chart here that explains how we get an eclipse. Here's the sun, the earth, and the moon. And when those three are lined up, it's called a syzygy, which is one of my favorite words. Anyway, this little diagram shows you how it works. So, but what we're really interested in, and Cliff and I are really excited about seeing, is the next total solar eclipse for North America, April 8th, 2024. And this is the page of the total solar eclipse of April 8th, 2024 at Astra's. So just to explain, this eclipse has 3 pages: the home page, the resource guide, and the party planning page to help you plan your parties. I was trying to see what I want to show you here. Oh, we're going to go right down to the eclipse diagram. There's Xavier's map online. We've looked at that a number of times on the show. And here is eclipse-wise eclipse diagram of this eclipse. Very excitingly, we can see the center line here. The blue line is showing us going right through the U.S. It's actually crossing North America the long way. I do believe this is part of North America. I'm not sure where.
Yeah, Mexico is North America. Yeah.
I thought it was, yes. So there's no other landfalls outside of this. It ends up here in before it gets to Iceland, and starts in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah.
So
and this is the web page, and I'll put it in notes too.
Yeah, we're gonna have our notes here. You have to be underneath these 2 blue lines. You have to be in there on the surface to look up and see the eclipse.
Well,
the green sunshine.
So in totality, yes.
What's that?
In totality.
Yeah, for totality. To see totality, you have to be underneath this line. And between those two blue lines, directly mid, is the center line where the most eclipse is going to be wherever the sun and the moon are directly behind, the sun is behind the moon. So I am going to run this eclipse animation.
Oh, that one. That's a good one, that one.
It's a great one. I'm going to put this here for
great.
now. I'm going to show this, but this is from NASA's Scientific Visualization Studio. And I would recommend this. That studio has such wonderful things in it. You can get the moon for every month, every day of the month of the year. They set it every year. They put it up, a new page for it. So yeah, you can always simulate what the moon's going to look like any day of the year in here. But that's not all they have. And this is one of the things that they created. And I am going to. Do I got the whole thing there? Good enough? Am I big enough?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to start her up.
Oh, and
so we just gone into Mexico, Mazatlan, and right here, Durango, right about here is the total where that sun was. Let's see, that's a pretty big city there. There's Eagle Pass. When we hit Eagle Pass, we're in the U.S.
Yeah. That's the US, I think.
And we're coming up on, pretty soon, we're coming up on Frost, Texas, where Cliff is going to be seeing me. And it's about, I'll tell you when, it's about now. Nope, more for there. Okay. Outside of that big city of Dallas. Goes into Arkansas. Little Rock, get some love.
Yep.
And then we're Carbondale. I think they got 2 eclipses there. And oh boy, wait for Indianapolis. Wow.
Straight over the top of Indianapolis.
And we're heading for Cleveland.
Oh, look at
Cleveland. Here we go. There we go. That's where I'm going to be, close to Cleveland. Now we're over 2 of the Great Lakes.
And what's interesting is you can see it gets oblong. The shadow gets oblong.
Right. Oh, look how oblong it gets
because of the curvature of the Earth as it.
And you can see the 3-minute line shrinking. So the lines are shrinking there as well.
Yeah.
So you get less and less after you get less and less after that greatest eclipse. There we go.
And somewhere.
I love it. I think it's fantastic.
That is a really good video, that one.
It's lovely.
Yeah.
And you can get that. I pulled that right off of that site. It's fantastic. So we're not going to talk about the weather because we've done that already. We're going to talk about what's up in the sky on April 8th during that total eclipse, which I took this out of Stellarium. We're going to do an eclipse animation in a little bit. This is from Stellarium. I use Stellarium a lot. I made this. I wanted to mention this.
Yeah, we're going to have a whole bunch of planets up there at the same time.
Right. And this comet, which is by Jupiter, the comet, it's very bright. This comet comes around like every 71 years or something like that. 81?
That's right.
It's 71 years. Yeah.
71.3 years. Yeah, right. Anyway, so I made up this using Stellarium. I do these different things like this a lot. Here's the sun and the moon. We got Venus, Jupiter, and that comet. And maybe we'll be able to get to see that. Who knows?
It'd be nice because in the past few decades, we haven't had any really spectacular comets.
No.
Oh, it's kicking up a storm.
Yeah.
And it turned into a bit of a devil shape the other day.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that.
It's a pair of horns sort of thing, and they weren't expecting that.
Right. So here we are, Ohio. There's more. There's a resource page. There's more on that. There's Ohio. I always do local local if it's possible. And so in my area here, Veterans Memorial Park, Avon Lake, there's those coordinates. And here is the data that you need to know if you're going to go there. But I wanted to stop here and mention this C1 is the first contact. These are stages, and this is how they're designated. So first contact, start of the eclipse, the maximum eclipse, and the end of totality, and then a partial eclipse. So you gotta, this is a 2.5 to 3 hour eclipse. And then I wanted to just briefly mention there's a piece on here about experiencing the eclipse away from the center line. And what I did is I took Denver, because I knew they got a fairly nice partial. And this that red arrow, if you're looking at this interactive eclipse charts that I will show one little bit. If you're looking at that, when you run your cursor like over here by this red arrow, this will change. So like if you're on this line, you see the partial. It actually changes. And then this here also changes. This column can change. So all of them, every time you see them on that interactive map, they are yeah, this is interactive table.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
really good.
hang on a moment, Janie. We have a couple of comments here. Janie,
Okay.
And Nancy came in a while ago.
Hey, Nancy.
And Scott came in and said, my sister called me today all excited about the eclipse. She was going to pull the kids out of school and make a fun day of it until I told her that she would not see it in Southern California. Well, that's only partially true.
Yes,
if you use a pinhole camera or anything to project it, you'll see a slice taken out of the sun. But I don't think it'll have enough coverage to actually make it look visibly darker. Maybe just like a hazy day type of darker, but not, but it won't be like twilight and it won't be dark.
Yeah.
But there will be something to see if you can use anything to show the to project it onto something white. So pinhole camera, the old shoebox with a piece of paper on the end. A lot of different methods. I'll be going into some of those for safe viewing a little bit later, but they can see something. It's just they won't see, they won't see it get dark.
Okay, so I am going to move us. Oh, did I miss his comment?
No, I hit it back on. I thought I was hitting it off, and I hit it back on.
Okay, so
Los Angeles is supposed to get 50%
right
coverage.
Okay, there is eclipse everywhere in the U.S. Everywhere in the contiguous 48 states of the U.S. There is at least a partial eclipse.
Right.
So
it's just, even with 50% covered, it's not a huge amount of visual dimming.
No, it isn't. It won't be. So I'm going to pop us over to the Eclipse resource page. So I've tried to make this site be, accessible. You can click on this. You can always click on these little buttons down here to go to the top of the page. We're going to go into the resource page. And there's one real incredible resource that I like, and it's called The Best Places to See the 2024 American Eclipse Based on Historical Weather Data at Sky Live. And if you've watched me on the show before, I've got us here. I see I've programmed Lakewood in there. You can click on here. You can put your own city. But what I like about this is this chart that they have on here. And so they start at Mazatlan, and they go through all of this. Narsas is the place where that sun is shining, is that green sun is shining. Pitas Negras, the Eagle Pass. That's where it crosses over into the U.S. So let me scooch back up here. So what they tell you here, we'll just go for Mazatlan because we can see the titles. So Mazatlan, totality duration 4 minutes 22 seconds. Mostly clear or better, so that's good if you have mostly clear skies. Partly cloudy or better. Mostly cloudy or worse. Now there's a 44%. Let's see, what is Cliff near? Well, I'll call it Waco because this is probably as close as we're going to get. You got 4 minutes and 13 seconds in Waco. You got 55. Now, see, I've forgotten already. 55 partly or mostly clear. 66. Oh, wait a minute. Partly cloudy or better. And then mostly cloudy or worse. So you got 35%. Texas is probably the best place to go in the U.S. The best state to be in. But you know, if it's not clear there, it's not clear there. Cleveland, we get, I lost it, 3 minutes and 52 seconds. 35% possibility it's going to be clear. People have been calling it 50-50. One thing is all of those lows have not been hanging out over us, so I'm not sure. I'm a little more encouraged than this. 52% chance of mostly cloudy or worse. But I really like this chart a lot. I really like the sky live, especially because you can change it for you, and it has an article on that comet and all the comets, and it got good stuff. I'm gonna go back to Astras. Let's see. Okay, what I want to talk about, you see, these are the major resources. The NASA Science Total Eclipse. They have a lot of information out there on the total eclipse. NASA Science Department division is the one that is they do most of the eclipse. And I'd like to spend a minute talking about this another science resource, Total Solar Eclipse Training. And this has, especially for those of you who like the crunchy stuff, they have detailed PDFs. It's a presentation. There's one on safety, science, outreach opportunities. It's not safety, it's somebody did something wrong there. It's not safety, it's like eclipse mechanics. The one that I'm really liking, and especially for the people here, is that eclipse science. I'm going to show you a picture from one of those slides, and in there they talk about the past investigations that were done, what people did during eclipses. They talk about what science NASA is going to be doing during this eclipse. They're studying the ionosphere. They're studying ultraviolet light during the eclipses because of looking into the drag on satellites. They're studying, they're chasing the eclipse with high altitude research planes. They've got an amateur radio operators contest. They're launching sounding rockets, and then they also have the Parker Solar Probe. So yeah, we yeah, it's incredible. Let me just show you some more of what's on here, because I know you guys want to hear from those two guys over there. I'm sure you want to hear from them too. So here's the more resources on Northeastern Ohio that I promised you on the other page. And you can take a look at this. Nancy, who put in a comment there, is actually in this article here for Cleveland Magazine, which I think is fantastic. But what I really wanted to point out here is this statement here. For any location on planet Earth, the average amount of time between two solar eclipses from one location is 400 years. So by location, total solar eclipses are very rare. Northern Ohio, the next solar eclipse will occur on September 12th 2444, 420 years from today. And yeah, here is a picture that NASA Visual Studio put out. They did some stills that you can download, and this one that I downloaded, I'm sure is because they have a research center in Cleveland, and that's why we got our special picture. So I'm really happy about that. And I think that this is, basically the most I'm going to talk about. I'm going to click on the party page. We can look at that for a minute. This just gives you some hints for, party treats, activities, Eclipse coloring pages for the kids, Eclipse party how-to and decorations. And having said all that, you can look at that at your leisure. I would like to treat you to a stellarium animation of the. I'm gonna stop presenting here. Stellarium presentation that I rigged up. It's for Frost, Texas. for Cliff at Frost, Texas. I'm just going to show you this here.
I've got a whole bunch of friends that are all headed towards Texas.
Okay.
Yeah, not going to risk the weather in other states.
Yeah, this is Frost, Texas. This is from the Xavier's interactive map. We've looked at it a bunch. That's why I haven't gone into it. But tell me if you can see when I get my cursor over here. Do I have to click it? Yeah, I have to click it. There's the maximum. Whoops. The mountains are calling. No, they're not. Sorry. They threw an advertisement there on me. Well, I won't click on any more of them. I just wanted to show you where we are. I'm going to zoom out a little bit so you can see Cliff's location. Yeah. And he's here, supposed to wake up.
Just about on center line.
Just about. So having done that, I'm going to start up that animation. That is right here. And looks okay?
Yes.
Okay. You can see here, this is the view of Stellarium has been blown up really, really big. And you can see down at the bottom there, I didn't want to do that. You can see the bottom here. I'm turning my mouse wheel. The bottom here, the field of view is 1.3 degrees. So it's pretty big. Here we are at Frost, Texas. If you have Stellarium, you can put your own. Coordinates in. You can pick your city. Frost, Texas wasn't in there, but I went out on Wikipedia and grabbed the longitude and latitude, and I plugged it in and figured out when to start. And I need to reset my thing. I know, because I changed it when we were setting it up. Okay. So the eclipse starts at Frost, Texas at 12:22 p.m. Totality starts at 1:39 p.m. and ends at 1:43 p.m. You got 4 minutes and 21 second duration.
Yeah. So, and John, just so people know, in Southern California, this is going to be about the maximum of the eclipse right here. Where you're starting yours is where our maximum is going to be.
Okay. Well, I kind of did it so we could get through this. And what I'm going to do, this little button down here starts up the planetarium aspect of Stellarium. And I'm going to hit the button 2 times, and we're going to start to see the moon continue to move across the face of the sun. There it goes. There's a sunspot on the sun. This is all from Stellarium. And I'm going to stop it during the middle. Okay, totality. When you get to totality, you get to see the corona of the sun, and it's just like fantastic. What I love about the Stellarium is that they've actually darkened the sky. When the sun is covered by the moon, the sky gets dark, which I think is fantastic. I'm going to start it up again. and diamond ring. There you go. You can set up any event you like on Stellarium. You can animate the moon to do, watch it go through constellations. You can do a lot with Stellarium. It's just a matter of putting it up. And the last thing I'm going to show,
you can actually see a little planet there when it went into totality. I checked my photo. You got to go back into totality. I checked my photo of 2017, and I've got a little tiny dot off the side, and so I went through Stellarium, wound the clock back, and it turns out it was the planet Mercury.
Oh yeah, I don't know if we're going to see Mercury because it's like right on the
see the little white dot.
You see the little. So what do you think that is?
It should be Mercury.
No, that's a double star. I fell for that already.
Okay.
That's a double star. That's a star in Pisces. Actually, we're way too close to see Venus, or we're way too close to see Venus. Or actually, we can zoom. We can go back.
Go back. Might have been too close.
Go back. Hang on. Where are you? There's Mercury.
Maybe
we will see Mercury. There's Venus. There's Jupiter. There's Saturn and Mars.
This is for the latest eclipse. I was talking about 17.
But yeah.
Right.
And I checked it, and I said, "Oh, dang!"
You know what? I want to get back into totality. Get into totality. Yeah. One more second here. One thing that I noticed is because of the different eclipses that I've seen, it's still going to move a little bit. The different eclipses that I've seen is, and after you see the eclipse, you look at pictures of it, and you look at pictures of it, and there are a lot of eclipses that I can identify just because of the way the corona looks around the sun, because it's always different. Sometimes it's big, sometimes it's little. You know what? I'm taking Cliff's. I'm taking Cliff stuff. Let me stop this. Let me show you what I want to show. This is from the NASA presentation, the science one I was talking about. And this is this is so fantastic. I mean, I've never saw an explanation of the corona like this. It just blows me away. So this is the quality of what you're going to get if you download either the PDFs, or if you do as I do and take the trouble to download the PowerPoint presentations. You get all the graphics, and unfortunately you get all the graphics, but they don't have a graphic of this picture. I had to crop this out of the thing just to show it to you like this, but it's just so fantastic. And there's incredible stuff in those presentations. So I don't know, Cliff, you want me to leave that up, or you want to?
Well, go ahead and leave that up for now. I'm going to go into something else because, Cliff will either look at it, use it or not, but I'm going to remove that from the stage for now, because right now I'm going to talk about safety, and we already covered the partial in California, and you had that really nice shot in Stellarium, and that's essentially what we'll see. Oh, and Janie said, "So way cool." Scott said, "Don, I'm loving your presentation." And Nancy says, "Corona summary is."
There's such cool stuff in here.
Yeah. Yeah. So here, let me get my stuff set up. Here, let me at the stage. Okay, well, this will look somewhat familiar to a lot of people, as it's Don's page talking about safety.
Astro's Eclipse Guide.
Yep. Yeah. So eclipse classes, basically make sure that, and good, you do talk about that counterfeit classes. If you're if you buy something, hold it up to your face and look at a bright lamp. If you can see through it pretty much at all, you might be able to see a little bit of glow from the light, but if you can see through it at all, it's going to do absolutely nothing when you're looking into the sun. So don't use it. Another thing is for a filter, when you have it set up on your camera or your scope or your binoculars, or just to your eyes, bring something white with you, like a piece of paper. Hold the filter up to the sun, put the paper behind it. If you see any white spots on the paper,
don't use it.
Yeah, don't use it. It's done. You're gonna end up with a
burnt out retina.
Yep. So don't do that. And Cliff has a really good example, and he's going to be talking about prep stuff and what to set up to bring. But here, I just wanted to show this here. This is an example of a solar filter for a pair of binoculars. It's one, but he actually has two of them here. And oh yeah, go ahead. And this
there you go.
is a put together filter for solar filter for a 10-inch telescope, 10-inch Dobsonian telescope. And you notice that hole is much smaller than 10 inches. You're looking at the sun. You don't need all of the light that the sun puts out.
There's more than enough.
Yeah.
more than enough.
So that 3-4 inch hole, no, actually, I think that's 4 to 5 inch hole. That's plenty with a solar filter in it. And just basically keep it so that it doesn't get scratched. I have a cover on it, and I need to retape it.
That'll do fine.
Yeah.
Homemade equipment is good.
Yeah. Well, finding something to fit that scope, and we just happened to find a box that worked just fine. And then if you don't have something like that, and you don't trust the things that you can get, you can always make indirect observing stuff. And like this, which is a sun spotter scope, it basically projects from here onto a white page here. And then, but you don't even have to go as elaborate as this. A shoebox with a pinhole, and it's called a pinhole camera. A pinhole in one side of it, and a white page on the back side. And then you basically cut a notch so that you can look into the box and see the white page. And you'll be able to see the sun on there. And if it's a really good sunspot day, you might be able to see sunspots if it's a really nice, small, round hole.
You have to make it pretty, nice and straight. Don't make it look like any tears in it. Yeah. Or it'll look bad.
Yeah. But it'll be enough to see a crescent. In fact, NASA has their Eclipse safety, and they talk about a lot of the same things Dawn talked about, but they have...
That's a colander. Yeah.
But you see these crescents? This is the sun.
Picture from each. Basically, they're all individual pinhole camera photos.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
One by one.
So this, if you don't have anything else, there you go. You can see the eclipse like that.
We actually did that in 2017.
Well, in fact, yeah. In fact, here's
an example. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Are you flashing the thing?
You know what? I'm not sharing the screen.
Oh, okay. I should have said something sooner because you're talking. I'm thinking, what is he talking about?
There we go.
There we go.
There we go.
Yeah, thank you.
Now you know what happens when Pam's not here. Okay.
Don't worry. She'll get you about the
Yeah. You're gonna pay for that, Jeff.
There's the colander. Then there's the pinhole camera. This is a much more elaborate version of the shoebox one, but this works just fine. In fact, it's one of the best ways because you're not even facing the sun doing this. You're looking in this side. The sun's coming in here. You might get a sunburn on the back of your neck, but the sun's not going to hurt your eyes.
Well, I don't think you're going to get sunburns from our latitude right now.
Right.
even if it is clear.
And like I said, theirs is more elaborate. They've got a piece of aluminum foil because you can make a nice round hole in it.
Yeah, well, true.
Yeah,
a drill hole.
Yeah, or just a pin.
Pin.
Yeah, but it'll be much rounder than into paper.
Yes. It will.
And so, and these are people using
little I've seen them use like coffee cups,
right,
and cut the bottoms off,
right,
and they'll fit over because they're tapered. They'll fit over a multitude of lenses,
right,
and you just take the foil over it and put a bit of tape.
And as long as you've got the proper foil, and it's probably a bit close to be able to get the proper foil, so only do this if you've already got the supplies for it. And so skin safety, but yeah, and then so that's all there. And and this is Dawn's. I don't know if people saw that or not because I don't know where I goofed in sharing the page.
Yeah, no, you didn't show that. Yeah, that's Pam used that at the last annular eclipse.
Yeah,
the library she went to, they actually got one of those through a NASA program. They were given that, so resources are available for schools and libraries and whoever that doesn't really have the funds to, but you have to find it. And I think there's some information in there about it too.
The rest of your safety page, but this is you looking through a pair of binoculars that I'm assuming have filters on them.
Those are my Celestron, Celestron solar. You can't see anything through that but the sun. There's nothing. That's all you can look at with those puppies. But that was our main instrument that we used for the annular eclipse, and wow, so glad we had it.
Yeah. So so that's it for and so that's it for me. I mean, very simple. Don't look directly at it. Use the right equipment for if you're going to do direct viewing, make sure that your equipment is really, really good and not damaged. And if you're otherwise, use indirect viewing. In fact, one year we just looked on the ground and saw the holes between the leaves of a tree. We just saw a bunch of crescents and we watched the eclipse that way. Of course, they kept moving because the wind was blowing, but we were able to watch it that way. And in Southern California, not much dimming. You might detect something, but not a lot of dimming. But if you've got any kind of indirect viewing, you'll be able to, it'll look neat.
Yeah, you'll know the difference then.
So Scott, your sister might still get some value out of having her kids looking at it, unless they do a school project.
I hope
so. To add to that, solar filter for a 58mm camera lens I got from Thousand Oaks, which just simply screws on the end of the camera, makes it perfectly usable for there we go, photographing the sun. 300mm lens. I bought a cheaper, because a Canon one costs a fortune. It still cost me about $120 for a 2x adapter. So now I've got a 600mm telescope, and set it up with of course, use a simple remote that's touchless, so that you can, once it's sitting on there, because this will be firing off shots at like 320th of a second, to take a shot. So you can step it down, step it up, but it's taking quick shots. And if there's any movement, well, you got to ruin photos. So the best way is actually to use a remote. So
have you used that before on Eclipse?
Oh yeah, I've got a photo. I got a photo. And I also have, because I put this on a Skywatcher's tracker, I've got a 90-degree eyepiece out of the back here, so that while it's there, I can still look at it like that. And the handy thing about this camera is it's also got the screen that pops out the side. So if I need to change any settings, I can see what it's doing. And of course, when I take a shot, I can see the picture straight away. Right. So it's really handy, that. That's a
And it's,
EOS 650D.
and it's a through the lens view.
And it's
you don't have
through
a
the
separate.
lens.
You don't have a separate viewfinder to fry your eyes while you're trying.
Yeah,
to
that's
line it
right,
up.
because you're only seeing it through that lens. Also, I just got a piece of, because it's sitting on the tripod and all, I got a piece of just normal cardboard, big square of cardboard, chopped a piece out so it could fit around the lens, and it slid over and then tucked the end under here against the Star Watch tracker, and I had a big shield.
Yeah.
So
you don't accidentally.
Yeah, so you don't accidentally look straight at the sun. Number two, when I'm looking at that, I'm not getting any side light, so I can actually get a really good view.
Right.
And yeah, it works extremely well. As he was also, Jeff was going on about the little filters. These little Spectrum telescope came from, but there's a pair of them you get to put on your old Tasco binos. Had them for about 40 years. Still work. But the thing is, these come usually to fit a certain size. They'll go for most sizes, but this is actually 47 mil. And then if you got something bigger, well, you have to get bigger ones. Okay.
Right.
See, it's got a little adjustment screw there that can actually go on. These things can fit on much smaller sizes. And with that, like that, you just can look straight directly at the sun and get a great view. So well worth an investment, because you know when you don't need them, you
have the binoculars.
Pop them back off and put them back in the box. You know?
Yeah, unlike mine, you just keep the binoculars in the box until there's something to see with them.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I put them and I keep them for that sort of use all the time.
Yeah. Dawn, do your binoculars work well for seeing sunspots?
Oh yeah, they do.
Okay.
I have what are they? Yeah, you can see some. It's not like if I look through my telescope at it and I can see the real good, see the shapes and the umbras and all of that. But
no, you need hydrogen alpha for that. This has taken 2 days.
No, the penumbras around the sunspots. Aren't they called penumbras? They have like a thing around. Each one has like something around it.
Yeah. So here,
I'm calling it the wrong thing, I guess.
Yeah, let's show some of your shots that you took of the last one.
There we go.
No, that's 2 days ago.
That's 2 days ago.
2 days ago, and there's sunspots.
Oh, I saw those sunspots.
Yeah.
A lot of activity.
Yeah, see how they have that light fuzziness around them?
Yeah, they'll always be, because it's taken with that Thousand Oaks filter. They're not like they're actually not a glass filter. They're
I wasn't complaining about that. I'm saying that is an actual feature. That's the actual feature of those sunspots. They have a lighter ring around them.
Oh yes.
Right,
yeah. Sorry.
That's what I was talking about.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because
I like this picture.
It's not just a spot on the sun. That's where stuff is being ejected out or coming back in. So
yeah. And another thing about that picture is like close to the limb. So that's a very, very curved surface that you're seeing those particulars. It's not like they're in the middle of the disk of the sun.
Yeah, it's always easier to take it in right in the middle of the sun rather than curve. But yeah, I took probably 50 shots to get one good one. So I mean, that's the handy thing about DSLR digital cameras.
Yeah,
you just sit there, press that button. I then change, just touch the focus one way, the other way, because there's also atmospheric considerations.
Oh yeah.
And it was a little bit wispy for the clouds that day, but then there was a clean spot.
I thought so.
But then even if it's wispy, the sun usually cuts through that pretty damn good.
Yeah.
So, because
I've been going out. I've been going out with my big welder's glass and watching the clouds go across the sun.
It does output 1,436 watts per square meter. So it's a fair bit of energy.
Right.
I like impressing everybody with that one.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, it's a big light bulb.
Yeah.
It's a really big per meter as well. So
That's right.
that's
And
a
it's only
fair.
a dwarf. It's only a dwarf sun. It isn't even
Yeah,
a sun. It's a dwarf.
Yeah.
there's many stars far bigger than our sun.
Yeah.
Man, even little old Betelgeuse that everybody's been talking about, that's 600 times the size of
Oh yeah.
sun.
Yeah.
But it's just not as white as bright because it's not as hot.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I know. Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
So you
want to show this one?
Yeah.
Okay.
And here's another shot.
Well, this one is the last eclipse, right?
Yeah, this would have been, of course, it would have been the last.
Yeah, that's a good
Not necessarily.
corona.
It's not my photo, but this is what people get to see. The diamond ring effect.
Yeah.
That looks like it's the diamond on the ring, which usually is created by there's mountains on the moon, and the light actually can go through valleys and send bright pulses of light. Well, you know how you see it in the sea when the clouds open up and there's one little spot in the clouds and you get this beam of light coming through.
Right.
Well, that's what happens. It's called
Well,
Bailey's
if you look at the surface to the right of that, you can actually see the cragginess of the surface over there.
Yes.
Yeah, you can see it. That's
So
from the moon.
That's usually the last and the first thing that you see, like in the contact. Well, when it's full and it's finally bang, you'll see that through the mountains, and then when the sun moves across, well, the moon moves across the sun, the last bit, it'll start coming through sometimes through those mountains again, and you get 2 diamond rings. You can get that. So it's an interesting feature that it happens. So everybody looks out for the
I've seen 2 diamond rings for the ones I've seen. One on both sides. Yeah.
And what else are we? Oh, there you go. Now this is actually one of my photos, and this is the moon gobbling up the sun as it goes. This is actually oh geez, this was somewhere about 2008. I took this. So that was in Australia, and I think it was
activity.
It had a lot of. It was at the solar maximum again. So you can see the activity there. It didn't go total, but it was a pretty damn good gobble up of the sun in 2000. Yeah, about 2008, I think it was. That, and so, like I say, that was my shot through my 8-inch ETX LS.
Here's this one,
and there's that one as well. So that's what you usually see through a camera with the like this sort of filter. That's what you see with this sort of filter. Right. The other one is with the sheet, the mylar sheet. I also did a in 12 the transit of Venus.
Oh yeah,
and that lasted for 6.5 hours.
Yeah,
it's a long transit. But I was showing heaps of people the transit of Venus because in Australia, that's the reason why Captain Cook went to Tahiti to view the transit of Venus. And then after he'd done that, he got sealed orders to go and find something. So he jumped back into the ship Endeavour and eventually found Australia. But the transit of Venus itself was an experiment, one of the most expensive experiments ever, because they sent out 3 parties. There's Lieutenant Cook, he went down to Tahiti. There was one in North America and somewhere in Africa, I think it was. And what they did with his calculations, all three, they figured out the distances between the sun, the earth, Venus, and all the rest of the planets and everything, because they knew an exact figure because of all the triangulation of the 3 points, because they had it over a much wider angle across the earth. One spot they couldn't work out the distance. With the big triangulation, as what they do now, like looking at black holes with all the cameras all around the world, they finally got a shot. If they took it from one location, they can't do it. So, yeah, it was actually one of the most expensive experiments. And that's how Australia got discovered, because of transit of Venus. So there's another one of mine, and I don't know anybody else that's ever done this. What do you think it is?
Wow.
Come on.
A tree.
That's actually a treed hill.
Yeah.
And that's the moon.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's the sun. And it's a setting eclipse.
Wow.
And I've actually got the earth, the sun, and the moon in one shot.
Wow. I like that.
Nobody I know has ever done it, except for me. So, yeah. And I even got the green flash at the end of that when it did set.
Okay.
So, yeah, but that was pretty cool. I got 3 in there and 1 hit.
Yeah,
That was pretty amazing.
Wow.
I raced home from work, grabbed the telescope, took it up to a spot that I had worked out on the side of the highway, because it outlooked a valley. And that hill was actually about 50 kilometers or 30 miles away or something in your distance.
About 40.
About 40 miles away, actually, as the crow flies. And those trees, you can actually see the sun through the trees and everything. So I thought that was a pretty trick little.
That's a nice shot.
Yeah. Scott says, yeah, I've never seen an Earth, Moon, Sun picture before.
I haven't.
I don't think anybody has, mate, because I've put it on Facebook a few times and everybody's gone, wow, how the hell did you get that? Setting eclipse. Nobody else has done it. So I don't know. I don't know why. It's like Tom Pickett with his photo of Betelgeuse and Pickett's Bell. I mean, he photographed it in 2015. How many other people have photographed, Betelgeuse and Orion and never seen it before? He saw it, and now he's got it named after him. So that's pretty cool. I'm going to actually stay at his place. I
was taking a picture of that. I was looking at a picture of that last week. That nebula.
Pickett's Bell.
Yeah.
Isn't that we think it's like a shockwave come off when the star's done a bit of a expansion, chucking off a shell or something like that, as it does, because it dimmed really awesome in 2019, and I could hardly see Betelgeuse and Orion. It just went out, the 10th brightest star, and all of a sudden it was down to where is it? You couldn't see it. It got that dim, and it's just dust, and they reckon it's dust and everything from she's done another puff. So I don't know if it's done it before. Nobody knows, to be honest. But that could have been just a shockwave from it, and that's how it got that bell-shaped asterism around Betelgeuse. Weird stuff. Yeah. But yeah. Now pushing on.
Yeah. Comet. We did mention briefly, I think, the comet might be visible, during the eclipse, because it's going to be real close to the sun.
Yeah, and Jupiter.
And
Jupiter's a pretty big, bright thing.
Yeah.
So if it goes total, you definitely should be able to see Jupiter. And if there's anything near it,
I hope I'm sensible enough to look for it. You just lose it, when the sun disappears. I don't know.
It's it's like me. The button. Get as many shots as you can.
I've literally told people to quit watching the eclipse through their camera. Why don't you look at the telescope for a minute?
Bracket the exposures, bracket the focus. Yeah, I mean,
Now, you got the right idea there.
Oh, I've been doing this for way too long. I've only been doing this since I started my astronomy club, since 2012. And yeah, there's been plenty of nights I've been out there in the paddock, and I'll take 200 shots of the moon, for instance, and I'll end up with, just maybe one or two.
Yeah, that's why you take so many.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. You got to bracket it, but it's also because of the curvature and everything, and you try to focus on one spot, but you're not getting the rest. And to get that really cracking shot, sometimes it's really hard. I had a shot of the moon I took with a Dobsonian. Moon was perfectly in the sky, 4:30 in the afternoon.
Oh,
clear
yeah.
as a bell. So I got the Dobsonian out, put my Canon camera up there, and I just took a bunch of shots, blue sky, put them into Lightroom, stopped them down 3 stops, and oh, look at that. I finally got a really, really fantastic shot of a half moon, and it's on my Facebook page. It's beautiful. So that's what I say. Bracket, get that, just tweak that, focus sometimes, because you're going to only have one shot, and if you don't quite, got something in your eye or something like that, and you don't quite get that focus. I mean, I wear these bloody, Coke bottle things, as we call them. Coke bottle bottoms.
Yeah.
So yeah, sometimes you don't see things. Oh, that looks so clear, and then you go and look on the picture and go, oh,
yeah,
oh, bugger. So I sit there and I'll tweak. I'll just keep going. I don't stop. That's the best way. That is the best way.
Speaking of photo, Janie says, fun photo. You should submit it to Westway's annual photo contest.
Great shot. Yeah, it was a great shot. I also took a photo of an eclipsing moon one time, and lo and behold, there was a planet Uranus right beside it.
Oh, wow.
If it wasn't for the moon being eclipsed, I wouldn't have got the shot. And as far as I know, I put it out on Facebook. Nobody else got it. So I don't know why. I actually sent that into a TV channel, Channel 7 that we have in Australia, and the weatherman put it up.
Those kind of occultations have narrow areas that it's viewable.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like you can see it everywhere. There's only certain places you can see, like the moon occultating. I mean, it happens a lot. The moon occultates.
Half the time,
it's like Antares. Yeah.
Finding it and seeing it. So and you actually see the color in the planet, but you couldn't see anything else. Because it was big enough. It was big enough than everything else. So it turned out all right too. But I took a hell of a lot of shots to get it.
Yeah. Well, it is about 5.6 magnitude. So it's in the, you can see. If you had eyes that were a lot better than mine and a nice dark sight, you could theoretically see it.
Yeah, well, with I think I was using the 8-inch with a reducer flattener, a Meade flattener, and that got the full moon, and that just worked out really good. I was lucky, very lucky.
Well, and if people miss this eclipse, our next shot of one, 2028 in Australia.
It's going right across Australia.
I'm saving my pennies.
So Sydney's super huge place to go, and as far as I can tell, it's going to basically go straight through Sydney, straight across. It's pretty much the middle, right through the middle.
Yeah, if you're interested in that actually is featured on the solar eclipse page. There's a solar eclipse page, and that the bottom half of it shows that eclipse. I picked it because it was far enough out that I wouldn't have to go editing it again in the next 6 years, 6 months or something.
Oh, don't worry,
Okay, 2028.
they'll already be working out the marketing and everything for it, because there'll be a lot of
Oh
people
yeah.
come around from everywhere. I mean, a lot of people in Australia will want to come up
Oh yeah.
from
I think a lot
Melbourne,
of people will go to Australia.
flying from Brisbane, and but then New South Wales is a very populated state, so there'll be a lot of places to go to actually see it. You know,
Yeah. There's a long. That goes all the way across there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Have you got a photo? Have you that you can share?
You know, I can share. Yeah, let me get over here. I'll get on there. This is the
Yeah, I thought I had one, but I don't.
Yeah, no idea. I got it. I got it pulled up here. Yeah, let me pull it up just a little bit more. Oh, I can do that after I share it.
There you go, too. My shirt from August
21st, 2017
that I got because I was a tour guide in a tour group. Amazing eclipse it was. Yeah, the birds all went dead quiet. It dropped temperature like that, 10 or 15 degrees, like that.
There you go.
Boom, it went down cold. And the cows started mooing and carrying on. They were going crazy.
Yeah,
couldn't understand what was going on.
All animal language for WTF.
Yeah, what the fuck? It was. Yes, basically straight through Sydney and straight up through.
So this is in July. This is in July. How is Australia in July?
Oh, brilliant, because that's winter.
Yeah.
It won't be hot.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And stinking, sweaty.
Well, in fact, yeah, this part gets pretty toasty, doesn't it?
Yeah, it gets really toasty in the middle.
So July is good then.
Yeah, that gets really toasty in the middle. There's a few. Oh, where's your mouse?
Right there.
There's a few places like along here. Believe it or not, there's a place called Marble Bar. Its average temperature is 54 degrees.
That's
Celsius. So
wow.
Yeah. it's up there with Death Valley, and people live there, and I don't know why. People
is that in the middle? Is that in the middle of Australia?
No, right somewhere up in Western Australia there. Just where I've got the mouse there. It's as hot as it's a dry desert.
No, we don't have the mouse on it because.
Oh, sorry.
Tell me when I'm pointing at it.
Yeah, right about there, where the blue line almost hits the coast.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Somewhere in there is Marble Bar. Yeah, all up that way. It says dry desert, hot. You know, it's fantastic river system where the green dot is, where the sun is there. There's lots of brooms up there, big fishing, pearling industry.
This one's got an extra minute. This one's got an extra minute, I think, more than the one we're getting. Isn't it 4 something? Maybe it's not a minute. Maybe it's a half a minute. Maybe it's 40 seconds more.
Yeah.
At the greatest eclipse.
Yeah.
Where they give you the duration here is only at the greatest eclipse.
Yeah.
Altitude 53 degrees. That's not bad.
Yeah. Okay. I'm glad we got to show that one because 2028, that's your next chance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So, some stellar events this week. Not the eclipse, but we've got other stuff going on.
We've always got stuff going on.
March 29th through April 5th. And March 29th is Good Friday. March 31st is Easter. Nothing much really going on in the sky. Oh, yeah, at that point. But Easter is based off of stellar event. It's based off of the lunar calendar. And I forget, but it's X number of days after Passover. And Passover is created by an equation of the lunar calendar.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, it involves the moon. Yeah.
Yeah, I understand that. It's always the position of the moon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Janie says, I've been to Lightning Ridge, Sydney, and Great Barrier Reef many years ago.
There.
Amazing place. Yeah. Yes, it is.
Yeah. Yeah. So also on March 31st, the next Globe at Night begins. I don't have the, I didn't get the constellations to look at, but Globe at Night begins, and just look for the constellations. Oh, and Janie says, Happy Easter, Spacers. Yep.
Happy Easter, Janie.
Yep. April 1st is last quarter moon. The moon runs low, and Mercury appears stationary. This is always written as Mercury is stationary. It just appears stationary. And it's all Fool's Day, or as we say in the U.S.,
April Fool's
Day. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. I got married on April Fool's Day 2000. Guess what? I never forget. I wonder why. True. And I didn't suggest it. She did.
Just wait until she looks at you and says, just kidding.
Well, yeah. Well, if she was just kidding, I don't know. We got the paper to prove it. But I must admit, there's a lot of people said, you did what?
Well, I knew someone who got married on Halloween.
Oh.
For the exact same reason. His wife said, you'll never forget our anniversary.
He'll be paying for it for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That's funny.
April 3rd, Venus and Neptune are in conjunction, and Pluto and the moon are in conjunction. So they kind of paired up in different spots in the sky. April 5th, Mars and the moon are in conjunction. Also, April 5th is our Friday night show where Pam is looking into a profile of someone. And she's actually has decided who she's going to do. It was a mystery at the time that we wrote this.
Yeah, it was that lady.
Yeah. Well, so
you're going to keep that a mystery.
Yeah. Well, go ahead and.
Okay. Fine, Jeff and Pam, because I won't be here on next week. On Friday nights, 9 p.m. Pacific time on the Everyday Spacer Facebook page and Everyday Spacer YouTube channel.
What inspires you the most this upcoming week? And there's a bunch of things, mostly related to the eclipse, but let me show them to you real quick. At the stage, and there we go.
And hopefully I'll be seeing a Falcon 9 launch tomorrow.
Yeah.
And get some photos.
So if you can't make it, live or make it, to the eclipse,
right,
you can get live streaming of the eclipse here, and just Utah. There's a lot of eclipse events all over the country.
Oh, there will be, like last time.
This is a free ebook about space exploration. Well, NASA won't tell you, but hey, that's a clickbait type of title, but it's free. This is Sherwood Eclipse. It's a camp for going to view the eclipse. This is Ronald Reagan Museum. They're doing a Star Wars and SDI, Strategic Defense Initiative, which I might say something about that sometime. It's running late now, but
we went and saw it last week,
and they hit upon a good chunk of it. The secret behind it. It was never meant to produce anything. It was meant to make the Russians do something, and they did it, and it basically damaged them economically. Okay, another.
That's not Star Wars, by the way.
No, no, but they did have a good Star Wars thing. National Air and Space Museum has their eclipse collection. Let's see. Oh, join Northwest Ohio Railroad Preservation at the total solar eclipse viewing party. I hope they're not viewing it there.
No.
But, so many people have
so many things to do.
Guaranteed
Ohio.
Guaranteed parking for $20.
Yeah. And someone's got a solar eclipse pendant. There you go. So, and let's see what else have we got. Oh, the eclipse party. Another. Oh, and this has they're giving free solar eclipse glasses. So, truck yard, the colony. Okay, I don't see anything else. Oh yeah, a few more. That's the same thing.
Truck
and
yard,
just,
the colony.
Yeah, and just you can get tickets for it.
Colony.
Yeah. What is this?
Uh,
They're doing an eclipse thing at this farm. Eclipse in the flowers. That actually sounds kind of neat. But buy your tickets now because everyone's figured out that they can make money by making space available for people to.
You are not wrong there.
It's a little late for that.
Yeah.
Better have your plans in place.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of these popping up that for anyone who hasn't made plans and can't find someone. This is Rocket Town Comic Con. Yet another location for Comic Con in Lompoc, which is near Vandenberg Military Base, and military free because they like to keep the military base happy. So they'll So
I couldn't believe that I went to Lompoc because I remember when I was a kid watching Roger Ramjet, and he came from Lompoc, and then they all told me, Vandenberg Air Force Base, and there's Lompoc, and I said, is that a real town? Really? I was surprised.
And you've been there now.
I've been there now.
Yeah.
I'm going to go tomorrow too.
Yeah. Okay.
I've got a few days left before I go. I want to see a launch. I just dying.
Oh yeah, you got to see a launch, huh?
I was there. I had 2 Canon cameras. I had one with a widescreen and the big telephoto. And I ain't gonna miss the action. I'm a rat. Of course, nothing. And it was cold and windy, and it was.
And so you're gonna do it again tomorrow?
Yeah. We even had a train stop at the train station. They're huge bloody trains, man. They're double deckers. They're really tall. Yeah. We don't have them that tall in Australia. That stopped right in the middle of the. Yeah, there's all these people on the other side of the beach. And you couldn't get across because the train's in the road. And meanwhile, the military came down and said that we all had to go off the beach because it's some bird breeding season thing, and we had to stay back over the fence. So, but there was a couple of hundred people there, so it was a bit disappointing for all. But yeah.
If you're on the beach, do not climb the hills toward the base.
No,
I highly recommend not trying to climb those hills.
No,
I knew someone who was a guard at the top of those hills.
Oh, okay. And they even had a delivery while we were there. All of a sudden, this big truck, big trailer, big long round thing on it. Big long round thing with a sort of a little bit of a pointy nose on it. And you're going, I wonder what's under that wrap. And so they wouldn't let us have a look. But
more rocket equipment, no doubt.
Yeah.
I think it was actually part of a rocket.
Right. Yeah.
One of those special carriers.
Because
there's a lot of activity in the space.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because not everything that they launch from Vandenberg is SpaceX or
true.
There is some secret squirrel stuff getting
Oh
launched
well,
out of there.
it had heaps of police and all that, and they had heaps of guys and all staff there with big trucks and trailers. I'm going, pretty important little package there. I don't know what's in there, but it must be pretty important. And it had a guard, like cops, and then the guards came up. They all turned up. They all got I got my gun.
Oh, that might have been for the military base.
Well, yeah, it would have been
knows?
MPs because Vandenberg is on the military base. So
Yeah, they were Space Force guys.
Oh, well, it's probably there. Yeah.
Although I got to chat with them.
They're building stuff. I watch all the SpaceX stuff, and people take pictures of giant pieces of equipment being hauled around all the time and stick them up. Oh, look, we saw blah 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 on its way. They had the latest thing was a fire suppression system.
Oh yeah,
for testing
the blast. Yes,
it was a bunch of these things that were shaped, like that, and there were
that's
tons of them.
The shock out of it.
Yeah, I just yeah.
Actually, I went and hired a Airbnb today, and the guy next door, I happened to start talking to him because he had number plates on his car that was Clifford, and I said, "Oh, you've got my number plate in your car." And he goes, "No, that's my name too." And I said, "Oh, hey, Clifford, how you going, Clifford?" So we did that, and then he said he was down in Texas, and basically he drove straight in to SpaceX. There's no gate. There's you can actually drive in.
I've been down there. Yeah.
There's the big rocket ship right there, and he's got the photos standing there. And he's just taking photos. What?
Well, remember, SpaceX isn't military. They're just it's just a factory to them.
Yeah, but he's parked like right. There's the big one there, and
that's what I'm always watching on YouTube.
He just drove straight to the gate.
Yeah. That's incredible. They brought in these gigantic tanks. Yeah. They're all these old rusty tanks. I don't know how big they were. They're huge, and they painted them all up, and they look all nice and white now. But they're huge.
Yeah. So from what he said, anybody can go down there and have a look at SpaceX.
Yep.
Because the road they actually have to close the road. It's public road. And it goes straight.
Well, yeah, they have to shut everything down, and they have to make sure everybody's out of the waterways.
Have you ever seen the dance they do? They've got the upright rockets, and they're taking them out along the road.
Yeah.
It's amazing. You go, oh, you wouldn't want to hit a pothole, and oh, geez.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
They're so tall.
That was when we went there. We're going in, and there was this road thing, and it we had to stop, and it had a big sign, and it said, you're allowed to go in, and then it had letters, and it had 20 minutes or something, something ridiculous, 15 minutes, and we had to watch the clock go down. And then eventually some traffic came up, and they left. And then finally we got to go through. It was hilarious. It's like, really? You got a sign here that says don't go through? That's it. Okay. There wasn't a lot of gate or anything. Hey, Janie.
Actually, I'm going to try to hit him up and see if he'll send me the photos, because some of the photos he had were
I'm doing the clips in my backyard.
Yeah. But Cliff is heading to Texas and has already traveled quite far already to get here. But so yeah,
I did a big drive around BC, British Columbia. I thought I'd get to see maybe some aurora, but the weather wasn't working my way, and so I did 2,500 kilometers in British Columbia in 4 days.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, they just need to schedule the eclipse for better weather, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Folks.
Saw some great sights, but
okay, folks. It's getting a little bit late.
So
if you or someone you know has done something interesting involving space exploration, science, or astronomy, we'd love to share our live. Join us again next Friday, April 5th. And Pam is working on a profile of Georgia Tiny Broadwick. She found out about Georgia from a post Cliff added to the Pomona Astronomy Club page. Let's see. Oh, she's
far right tab.
Hang on, let me.
She says.
Yeah.
Far right tab. Hang on. Oh, there it
is. Hang on, let me share that.
That's my club page. That was actually a photo one of my members actually took.
That's lovely.
That's Noosa in the background.
Oh, and there she is.
And there's the lady with her parachute on.
Yep.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite groups on Facebook.
So, hey, who's that guy there?
Yeah.
Hang on. Oh, come on.
Oh.
That's when was that taken?
It was in the 2000s.
Oh. Yeah, rightio. Okay.
Okay. So I think we're gonna say good night, folks.
Good night, folks.
Guys.
Good night.
Good night to everybody in Australia, and all my other friends. I'm doing this trip mainly to go and see all the great people that I met last trip, because they've left an indelible mark on my memory. Such great people as Pam and Jeff here, and others that I've met. So I'm basically doing the same trip, just to go and see everybody. I've only been
another couple thousand eclipse pictures, right?
Yeah,
I hope you get a good one or two.
I've only been on a jet twice, like 2 trips out of Australia, and they've both been to do this. I haven't been anywhere else in the world, so yeah. All right, guys.
Okay.
Have a good night, everybody, and take care.
Enjoy that eclipse.
Take care.